So let me go ahead and get started. So I am also known in the educating circle as Historical. So I love the little title, Historical Harbors, Snorkl for Social Studies with Historical. And just to get us in the mood for the presentation, we got a little bit of this going on. And if you want to grab your link, feel free.
With Historical and Snorkl, they've got a winning game. When it's time for social studies, no need to feel the dread. They provide feedback instantly and help you move ahead. Equality and Historical, Snorkl too. They make learning fun and easy, always there for you. With their instant feedback, you'll never miss a beat. Social studies made simple, they can't be beat.
All right. So my name is Christy Cloud, and this will actually be my 24th year in education. 21 of those have been in social studies. I'm moving in next year to a very exciting position as an instructional technology facilitator. I'm super excited about that, but I do have, I think, quite a bit of experience with social studies, and I hope if you are on X that you'll give me a follow so that we can share and learn together. Here's my Twitter handle. And today, what I want to talk about with Snorkl is how you can use the library to fund activities, how you can upcycle library items that can really target your particular learning goals, how you can create your own Snorkl activities, and some of the best practices for prompting those activities. And I feel like as a Southerner that I should have probably gotten a little bit of extra time because y'all know we talk slow. So I'm just going to try to hit as much of this as I can. And the first thing I want to talk about is the Snorkl library. So if you look in Snorkl and you've got the library up here, you can see social studies and history is coming soon. But the really good thing about this is that we're all reading teachers, right? Everybody teaches reading. Everybody encourages good literacy skills. And there are lots of things in the Reading and Language Arts library that can really help you meet some of your social studies goals. So one of the first things that I would suggest is using the reading library to explore some of your own standards. So we're just going to click 5th grade here. And you do have a search up here, so you can search through the library. Super helpful. And if you look at this one, the very first one under Reading Informational Text, you are going to get this really great activity. And let's go ahead and hit Try a Student. And it's going to show you exactly what you can do with this. And it's about breakfasts around the world. Now, one of the things that I really like about this is that you can edit these activities to make them more prone to exactly what you are teaching in social studies. So if we come over here, instead of just trying it as a student, but you always want to start there and see if the activity is really going to work with what you're doing. But if you want to edit your activity, we're going to add it to the library. And now it's in your library. So when you're up here, instead of the Snorkl library, you're going to come to My Library. And we just added this one. So you've got a copy of everything here. And you've got just the instructions, read the passage, answer the questions carefully, etc. But we can go in here and edit right on our whiteboard. So maybe you want to add an additional part, like right here, part C. And you could add in, underline the names of all countries. And that a little bit bigger. And you can take the time to move these things around now, but just in the presence of time, since I talk a little slower in my Southern accent anyway, we're just going to leave it right there. And so now we're just going to hit done editing. we'll come back here, and you've got all of this already done since this was taken from the Snorkl library. So what you want to do now is just add in what you did for Part C. So Part C, student should underline all names of countries. And then you're done with that. And you can assign it. And once you have that, you've got some choices. Do you want to let other students see it? Do you want to allow students to see your comments? Which can be great. So once you go to the activity, then you can try it yourself, which I suggest that you always do. So you can get any sort of little kinks out before you actually give it to your students. And then once you're in here as a student, you can just record your screen and voice. And based on this excerpt, what would the author most likely write about? So here, you're still reinforcing those great language arts skills. And let's see, I read this earlier, and I'm trying to remember. Let's see, based on this excerpt, what would the author most likely write about next? All right, he's going to South America next, so we're going with B. And then which best supports your answer. And again, your students are talking through this the entire time. So this tells me that he's going to South America next. And then I've still got Part C down here to underline the names of the countries. So I'm just going to look through here. We've got Japan. We've got Japan again. We've got Canada. Canada again. And then I'm going to go ahead and end it and submit it. It's going to upload our response, and then it's going to generate our feedback for us. So we're going to hang out for a second while it's doing that. It always seems to take longer when I'm live. Okay, there we go. All right, so 3 out of 4 strong. It tells me what I did well. And then your students can even, if they, because I don't know about y'all, I spent a lot of years in middle school. Y'all, they love to argue. So if they don't agree with the feedback, they can even do this. Was it accurate? Was it helpful? Do they want to leave additional comments? Okay, so that can be very helpful for your students. They're like, no, I don't like how they did that. So you've always got that to look back on. So now we have done this and added in our country names. It showed that you paid attention to the details, and it also supported our reading. So let's look at what we want to look at next. So we checked out ELA, we searched. Again, everybody's a reading teacher. We're all there to support, reinforce, and help our students win. Now, let's look at how we can upcycle some of those things. So we checked out the activities. We matched them to what we were currently talking about. And let's get this in full screen. And you can use it as is. And you can also do what we just did and configure it to meet any of your social studies needs. Now, what if you want to create your very own Snorkl masterpiece? You want to start from scratch and really show your students what they can do with your own materials that are absolutely aligned to your teaching goals and your standards. So from the library, you'll click to create an activity. You can add what you've already got to the whiteboard. You can configure the AI and then assign the activity to try out. So let's look at that. So if we are in Snorkl, we are going to come back over here. I'm still in here as a student, so let's go back to this one. All right. So we are going to go back over to our library. I would also, if you are just working with your students and introducing Snorkl to them, remember that you've got all of these great activities that they can try to sort of get a feel of Snorkl, which may not be necessarily related to your content, but as a practice run, it's really good to give them. Like, for instance, the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, y'all, I have been eating and making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for a very long time. We're not going to talk about age or anything, but it's been a minute, okay? I thought I was a master at making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I did this and I got a 3 out of 4. So I was a little disappointed. Apparently, I need to work on my peanut butter and jelly sandwich skills. But it's a really good one to get started with students so that they can see the possibilities, see what it's going to work like. And it's a low, everybody knows how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So they don't have a fear of getting the wrong answer. And that can really build some confidence when you're trying a new ed tech tool. So this time, in order to create our own, we're going to go to our library. And from my library, you're going to create an activity. And from here, you can just title it. So we're going to do something like Middle East governments. I know everybody's super excited, right? And then you've got this add to whiteboard. So from here, you can add in pictures. So what I did was I took a screenshot of one of my PDFs. So look at this. It is multiple choice. Now, Snorkl does so much more than multiple choice, right? You can do all of these great Venn diagrams with your students. You can do all these amazing things. But it really puts multiple choice into a whole new game too, because now not only are they going to circle the correct answer, they're going to explain how they got it, right? So we're going to done editing, and we are just going to take multiple choice instructions. So answer the 5 questions and explain your reasoning. Now, you can turn on your AI feedback to students. You can either do it where you approve it first or auto approve. I'm going to do that. I'm going to select social studies and middle school. Now you can come down here and you can fill in exactly what the questions are you're asking. You can describe the images, the graphs, and all of that, and tell your expected answer. I'm going to tell you though, I am not a prompting expert. I like to have somewhere to start. And Snorkl has this amazing autofill with AI, and I love it. So once you hit autofill with AI, it's going to give you a second. It's going to read what you have put up there. And here's where I need the music. All right, look at this. So it pulled all of my questions, and then boom, it gave me all of my answers right here. So I, of course, want to check those. Yes, that's right. Okay, so AI is doing a great job of doing this for me, and it gives an answer explanation for each of them. So I'm just going to use that. It did great. And then assign it. And you can choose those differently if you'd like. Go to activity, and then you can try it yourself. So here's the reason I think that you shouldn't just ignore multiple choice with Snorkl, because I think that Snorkl makes multiple choice so much more dynamic. So now, as a student, we're going to hit this, and students can just talk through their questions and answers. Which type of government is one in which citizens have power? Capitalism. Okay, that's actually an economic system, so we're going to get rid of that. Socialism, no. Okay, we've got democratic and autocratic. Okay, so citizens have power in a democratic country. We're going to circle that one. Which type of government is the one in which a single leader has power? Auto means one, autocratic, one leader. And students would go through all of those. and submit it. And then we're going to get our feedback again. And it's going to tell me I didn't answer all of them, but it's okay. All right, so we got the ones we answered correct. Hey, that's pretty good. Remember to explain your reasoning. I love how it always gives you sort of like glows and grows. It tells you some things. That's a great strategy to use. Okay, I've got a glow. Here, remember to explain your reasoning. I've got something I need to grow with. So awesome, awesome job. And this, of course, you can always, as a teacher, type in or add in responses with video. So very helpful if you want to add in more info to your students. Now, even though I think that Snorkl can really take multiple choice to the next level, it can do so much more than just multiple choice, right? And there's so much more that you do in a social studies class than just multiple choice. So what else could it do? Like Farmer Fobs, I love an app smash too, right? And one of my very favorite app smashing tools is Canva. Like if you can't do it with Canva, then it probably doesn't need to be done, right? I mean, Canva's amazing. So if we come over to our Canva templates and we just do like social studies worksheets, and you're going to get all of these amazing things. And you can look through, find the ones that are most beneficial to your students. And then you can click on one of these. So let's see. Let's pick one out. Let's reschedule. Maybe we should do just social studies. We can't find exactly what we're looking for. Let's look here. All right, here's one we could do. So on this one, it's going to give us all of the different continents and then ask us to name as many countries as we can for each of those continents. This would be like a really cool way, I think, to open up a new unit. Or especially at the beginning of the year when you're going over basic geography skills. So this time we want to share this and we're going to download it. And you want, instead of downloading it as a PDF, like me, you might do a lot in Canva. If you're going to print it as a worksheet, download it as a PNG. And then you can come right back over to Snorkl. And let's go back to our library and we're going to create an activity again. And this is going to be our countries of the world. And then we're just going to pull in that picture that we just saved. Voila. So we're done editing that. And then again, instructions for your students. It is on the page, but I think it's important to have instructions in as many places as you possibly can because especially middle school students, they don't like to read directions. So I try to put it everywhere. Name as many countries for each of the continents as you can. And then a couple of things. If you I'm big with enable and autofill with AI. I have found that Snorkl does a fantastic job with this. But if you decide that you want to do your own configuration with AI, first of all, more power to you. But Snorkl also has this great learn more down here, and it will bring you to this sample AI setup, which is so helpful. To let you know exactly the different kind of things that you need to put in to get the AI to give you what you want. Because AI is only as good as we set it up to be. So your prompting is really the most important thing while you're doing this. So this is helpful, but I'm going to be honest. I usually just stick with enable an autofill, because once you have enabled an autofill, you can also go in and edit that. So if you get something that you don't particularly like, all you got to do is use an edit, and then here you can go in and you can edit any of this that you would like. So if you want to add in more countries or whatever that they might could choose from, you have the ability to do that now. And then you can just assign it. And I always encourage you, once you've assigned it, before you actually give it to students, go to the activity and try it yourself. Create your own response, because that will really show you what, if there are any kinks that you need to go back and work out with your AI prompting. So if it doesn't work well for you, it's not going to work well for your students. So if you do this and it doesn't turn out the way that you had hoped it did, if it says something about Colombia is in Antarctica, then we obviously want to go back and make sure that we've got our prompt set up correctly. So I strongly encourage you to always give that a try before you actually give it to your students. All right, so let's come back over here, and we have now created our Snorkl masterpiece where our students can go in and give us all of the countries in any of the given continents. We talked about configuring the AI. You can do it on your own. More power to you. You can allow Snorkl to autofill it. If you do allow Snorkl to autofill, it is still editable. And then again, I would strongly encourage you to always assign the activity and then try it before you give it to your students to try. Best prompting practices. One of my best tips would be, don't forget the autofill with AI that Snorkl gives you. That is amazing. I'm not a prompting expert, and I love that it is there for me. If you do decide to go on your own, details are important. I always like to think of, when I'm configuring my prompts, is if I'm doing it for a substitute teacher. I want them to have all of the information possible that they need. So remember, your details are important. Think about your substitute teacher. What would you need to tell them? I also find it very helpful to use my standards when I'm creating prompts. That way you know that the AI feedback is going to really be centered around your state standards. Remember, you can always edit your work after you try it. If it didn't come out correctly, that doesn't necessarily mean throw it away. Just go back and give it another try. And then if you are setting up the AI on your own, the little slides guide that Snorkl gives you is amazing. So definitely check that out. And very last thing, Edge Guardians. I love Snorkl. Edge Guardians is the PLF that you have always been waiting for. So if you are ready to dive in with us, I hope that you will take our little code and it'll take you to our one-pager so you can set up your own little snorkeling Edge Guardian. And I hope that there have been some tricks and some tips in this to help you get started on your social studies masterpieces in Snorkl.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Christy. And yeah, if anyone hasn't heard of the Edu Guardians, definitely check them out. And it's just an awesome group of teachers and tech leaders who are just sharing awesome insights and tips to new tools. So thanks so much for what you shared here, Christy, today about using Snorkl, especially in social studies, and the different ways to set up those assignments. And yeah, just really, really grateful for you to be being part of our special day.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great. I enjoyed